is Saturday, July 13th, and you are watching You Don't Watch Sports right here on the Feo Grande YouTube network. I am Bill Smith, and I am joined as always by the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande himself, Omari Ellis. Omari, how was your sports week?
My sports week was a rather quiet one, but a calm one. No complaints.
Excellent. Well, we're going to talk about that. It's a little bit of a quiet season here in sports, so we're going to touch on a few things that are coming up. Three topics here on You Don't Watch Sports. We cover a little bit just to sprinkle a little sports information into your conversation, as we are the guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. Now, topic number one, Omari, we're getting really close to Olympic season. So I wanted to chat on that. We got a lot of chatter about the men's basketball team. Love to get your thoughts on the Olympics. Let's start with the men's basketball team. What have you been hearing?
All right, so the men's basketball team, as you know, we lost the FIBA basketball thing recently with the team we sent up there. I'm pretty sure we lost to Canada
Yeah.
specifically as one
Okay.
of the teams. And so the NBA, or so the Olympic team decided to do what it does about once every decade or every 20 years or so. They said, screw it, let's assemble the Avengers, get all the best players out here. So we went with a new team that's got LeBron James still going out there with Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards,
Kevin Durant.
Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday, and even Jason Tatum. They had Kawhi Leonard. He unfortunately he had an injury and had to step out in the best interest of the team. And they replaced him with Derek White. Surprisingly, not like Kyrie Irving or a the Jalen Brown, I believe, of the Boston team,
Mhm.
the Finals
Mhm.
MVP this year is not on the American Avengers team to take on the world. But they beat Canada just this past week in an exhibition. Had a bit of a slow start in the first quarter. Canada was actually up. But when the second unit with AD and Anthony, when the double Anthony's came in, they
Yep.
went on like a 7-0 run and didn't look back. Ended up winning like 86 to 71 or something along those lines. So it was their first game together and was about as sloppy as it looked, as you would think for people who aren't used to playing each other.
Right.
But by the end of it, it's like, oh, when they start gelling and start going, yeah, America's gonna do what America does at the Olympics. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Of course. That's why you're wearing those. I was wondering the whole time.
USA.
Beyond basketball, what are your other what are your thoughts on the Summer Olympics? What are some of your favorite events to tune into? Do you have memories over your life of the every 4 year event?
I am known for not liking patriots. You associate Omari with the word patriot, it's usually in a negative light. But that's only when it really comes to the Boston sports team and maybe the Mel Gibson movie. But that's more for Mel Gibson reasons. The bottom line is when the Olympics come, you will find very few people who are more patriotic than myself. I root for the USA in the Olympics because it's the small victories that matter, but we get a lot of the big victories, getting more golds than people, at least during my lifetime of
Mhm.
watching the Olympics, because I was fortunate enough to have folks like Michael Phelps be a regular occurrence at the
Yes.
Olympics getting
Hmm.
a bunch of golds. Simone Biles recently has made me interested in the gymnastics because she's been on her goat run for a minute.
Right.
So always been looking forward to those things. Racing has from when I was a child before I had the whole USA, just the idea of fastest person alive, 100-man
Yeah,
dash.
that's always fun. Yeah.
Let's go. Usain Bolt, I was
Mhm.
upset because America just got moved out the way for the
Right. Well,
Jamaicans.
when we
But
were kids, you had Michael Johnson on the men's
mm,
side, and then you had Jackie Joyner Kersee, St. Louis native, uh,
exactly.
on the female side when we were kids. So yeah, track and field has always been a big deal. And then in my life, I remember that what was it, the 1996 gymnastic, the women's gymnastic team that had like
Okay.
Carrie Strug
Uh-huh.
and Dominique Moceanu and who else was on there?
Uh,
Dominic Swan, is that a name?
sounds familiar,
But
but
yeah,
something
I
Swan.
remember that being a really big deal over my life. And then, of course, yeah, like you said, Michael Phelps was then the next big thing as Jamaica seemed to kind of dominate the fast track and field
Yeah,
events.
Usain Bolt, which I was upset the first couple Usain Bolt things, but after a while, you just got to learn to accept it and just
Hmm.
accept the greatness. So I was like, you know what? Let's go see Usain Bolt run over some other people this year.
Yeah.
Give the belt to the man, give them the medals.
One of
Good
my favorite
pose.
things is just kind of like to randomly tune in to the Olympics at some random point, whether it be through their YouTube channel or whatever, to just finding that thing that is just the thing that's being played right now, and it's just some random sport that you would never
Horse trotting.
watch a TV broadcast of before, but now you are
I thought it was
trying
crazy
to
when
be
they
force
added
invested in
skateboarding.
it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then you add new things every year. So it's always a fun time. I'm excited. We'll keep an updated tracker
Yeah.
there.
One of the
Uh
things I like, I'm just gonna real quick. One of the
yeah.
things I like about the Olympics and that I get the kick out of, America is known as one of the most out of shape, obese countries in the world. We're known for not being athletic. But in the world athletic competition that happens every 4 years, we still get more medals than everybody else. So they have to hold that the fact that us out of shape Americans are still better than them at sports. And that's what I get a kick out of.
Some, some would argue access and privilege.
But apparently, it said access and privilege leads to us being really fat and out of shape.
And but also
I'm just saying.
it's yeah, we are the extremes of both sides of the coin.
Yes, indeed.
On to topic number two, Omari. This week is MLB All-Star Week here in the US.
Great
Yeah, yeah.
American pastime. Yeah.
Right, yeah, throw them back on. And the All-Star game is one thing. It's fine. The biggest players in the league playing a game, an exhibition game that isn't really an exhibition game because it means something now, but only kind of. Uh, so that's one thing. My favorite thing about All Star Week is the home run derby that's going to be happening on Monday night, where we just get a bunch of big dudes and we just tell them to just hit a bunch of home runs. I want to run through the competitors here with you and
Cool.
get your thoughts. And I know you are the super casual sports fan, just picking at random. I want you to pick your winner of the home run derby. So first up, we have the five-time home run derby competitor, two-time winner, New York Met Pete Alonso, who currently is rocking 18 home runs this season. Then you have the last year's American League Rookie of the Year winner, Gunnar Henderson for the Baltimore Orioles, currently leading the pack of these folks with 27 home runs this season. Jose Ramirez from the Cleveland Guardians, the elder statesman, former MVP, 23 home runs currently. The big bodied, big muscled Audalis Garcia from the Texas Rangers with 17 home runs. Marcell Ozuna from the Braves with 24 home runs. You got the young one, Bobby Witt Jr. from the Royals with 15 home runs. Teoscar Hernandez from the Dodgers, probably like the fifth Dodger that you would probably want to see in this tournament, but don't sleep on Teoscar Hernandez. He has 19 home runs already this season. And then you have Alec Bohm from the Philadelphia Phillies. Only 11 home runs, probably the smallest guy in our field, but Alec Bohm has the clutch gene like nobody else. When the Phillies need a home run, Alex Bohm is hitting a home run. So Omari from the field, who you got?
All right, so I also like the home run derby, and the years that I can catch it, I do try to watch. So Pete Alonso, that name initially popped up to me. I'm like, oh shit, Pete Alonso's here. I remember him being good. But I heard the name Adolis Garcia,
Yep.
and that was just a sick name to me. So when you started talking about him, I'm like, I gotta look and see what this dude looks like. All right, I'm a fan. Let's go with Dallas Garcia. Just because he has a cool name, and I just think it's damn near like Adonis, but it's Adolis. But it just sounds like a big motherfucker. And if he's the home run champ, you're just like, yeah, I just want him to be that scary dude coming up to the mound. Adolis Garcia. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm going Adolis.
Yeah, this is a tough one to pick. So there's lots of routes you can go with your home run derby champion. You can get your big guy that just mashes the ball. That's an Adolis, that's a Pete Alonso. Then
Hey, Oscar's a cool name too,
you can get
but
your surprisingly skinny guy who just has a smooth swing, and also this is partly an endurance challenge because of the way the rules are now, where it used to be when we were kids, it used to be per per pit, like you get a pitch count. It's per
mm,
pitches and per successful hits and things like that. And now it is a timed event where it's just,
mm,
here's your time, try and hit as many home runs as possible. It doesn't matter how many home runs you don't hit. In
yeah.
previous years, it used to be, all right, if you
Oh
have
yeah,
four,
this many hits
five
left.
fails, round over kind of thing.
Last year was a time thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's been a time thing for a number of years. Pete
Okay.
Alonso is kind of credited for being the, like, all of his wins, and I think most of his competitions are in the timed era. So he's kind
Okay.
of credited to be the best
The
in it. But
king of
when it
that.
hasn't been Pete Alonso, it's been that surprisingly skinny guy, or not skinny, skinnier guy, not a big
Yeah.
giant guy, that has the stamina and a smooth swing can win this. So I am looking at, and initially I was going to choose Adolis Garcia, but you took him in. I want to pick somebody different. The
Fair.
smooth swing of Marcelo Zuna is really great and could be successful, but I'm going with Bobby Witt Jr. as the surprising young stamina guy who
I
just
like
has a
that.
good swing and can get it over the fence well.
Also sounds like he could be a good home run hitter, Bobby Witt.
It just sounds like a basespall name, doesn't it? Bobby Witt
Yeah.
Jr. And you need to say it a little Southern, just like 20% Southern. Bobby Witt Jr.
Especially if you included the junior. Bobby Witt Jr.
On to topic number three, Omari. Who AEW is hot. AEW is
Oh
hot,
my
Omari, and
goodness.
they are prepping to make a couple of pay-per-view level shows on TV, on traditional TV. AEW Dynamite is prepping for some big stuff. This coming Wednesday, Omari, to open the show, we are going to have Will Ospreay versus MJF for the AEW International title. Who do you think is going to win that?
Will Osprey MJF international title. I think Will wins it. He already had his loss to Swerve recently that kept them, where they were, but so it didn't
Mm-hmm.
really hurt anybody. But I think he keeps this with MJF, and then eventually in their feud, MJF wins it. But I think right off the bat, I am the new guy on campus. I'm Will Osprey.
Okay. I am going to go the reverse. I'm going to say MJF wins this via shenanigans. Uh, we have then during the show, you're going to have Mercedes Monet having a open challenge to anyone on the AEW roster not named Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And there's a lot of heavy rumors of some returning women's champions who could be coming back. And That's going to be exciting. Do you have any thoughts on Mercedes Monet's time so far in AEW?
I no, she's all right.
Fair.
I don't like that she stole the CEO chance, but that's about it. She's doing all right. She's a great wrestler. She's you know she's a big personality when it comes to that. Everybody loves her. I got no
Maybe
complaints.
when Kenny gets back, he'll have an adjacent feud through Mercedes that he can give that a little bit of a shout out at some point. The only CEO I know is blah 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 blah. Um Main eventing Wednesday, Omari. Champion versus champion. Dynamite 250. AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland is going to be facing AEW Continental Champion, still yet to be pinned as a member of the AEW roster, Kazuchika Okada. What happens here, Obari?
It's belt for belt. I I wanted to say Okada wins via shenanigans because the elite is the elite and they being shenaniganry right now because heels. At the same time, Swerve has been standing up to every challenge and still coming out with that belt. Also, if anybody's gonna give Okada his first pin, it could be the champion in the Swerve. So just to swerve against people's
Before you say,
expectations.
real quick, let me just in case it's not on your mind directly, Brian Danielson has officially won the Owen Hart Cup. Thus, he has cemented his position as the main event challenger for the AEW World Championship at All In, the next pay-per-view.
And the idea
Don't know
being
if that
he would
affects your
probably and the
decision.
idea being he would probably want Okada as one of his last matches, given this is his last year.
I'm just saying what is the match that you think would be put on there? Is it is it Brian Danielson versus Swerve Strickland, or is it Brian Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada?
You want to say Okada just because yeah, size and names, but at the end of the day, whose house is it?
Swerve's
So I'm
house.
gonna exactly. So I'm gonna swerve against people's expectations. I think they're gonna swerve us and actually have Swerve fight Danielson there, as Danielson, who's known for wanting to put the young guys over anyway, does the Danielson thing, put Swerve over at All In, and further cementing that legacy going forward.
I think I'm gonna agree with you on that one. I think that could happen, and I think if this is a belt for belt, which is what they seem to be advertising it as, I think they maybe you maybe liquidate that Continental Championship through this match. Because you already have the international title, you have the TNT
Yeah,
title.
what?
I
Yeah,
don't know if you need a
when you
third
said
men's
yeah when you
mid
said
card singles.
continental, yeah when you said continental, I thought that was the international. That's why I was confused. I'm like, what? Yeah, I think you can liquidate it.
So that's my thoughts there. Then Omari, the following week is AEW Blood and Guts. And then not to mention, you also have the active storyline right now. Mariah May has won the Owen Hart tournament on the women's side of things, thus cementing her spot in the main event of All In for the AEW Women's World Title, which she immediately turned on her mentor, Timeless Tony Storm, in a brutal attack to close out last week's Dynamite. So I'm sure we will be hearing more on that scenario at Dynamite 250 and Dynamite Blood and Guts. Um, any other final thoughts on AEW?
Ah, I stated it on our other show, or no, I didn't. We were
No,
talking
you
about
didn't.
something in between shows, saying that wrestling is really good right now, regardless of which fan base you watch. There's a
Yes.
lot of people on TV that a lot of eyeballs want to see. And the fact that they can have a Wednesday, I get that it's Dynamite 250. I get that. But the fact that they can afford to, on a Wednesday night, just have the match card that they have coming up is ridiculous. Talent wise, and just the names of the match quality, the general match quality, AEW still firing strong, and I commend them for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I second that. I second that. That is our third topic, Omari. So that clears us out. That clears the board here on You Don't Watch Sports. If you like to hear us talk about stuff, I don't know why you do, but thank you so much for doing it. You can find us on practically every day of the week. Mondays, we got mock draft where we do crazy things like a wrestling fantasy draft for the WWE universe. We also do lots of fun, goofy drafts on there. You need to check it out on Mondays. On Tuesdays, we have This Guy Hasn't Seen, where we trade things back and forth, where one guy has seen them, the other guy hasn't. That's exclusively usually you and me, Omari. But then also you and our good friend Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
Y'all have a show on
Yes.
Wednesdays.
Yes, we have a show on Wednesdays called the Whatever We Want podcast, where we talk about just that, whatever we want. And yeah, and then obviously Saturdays we got this show. I also have a Twitter and a Twitch at Giotavi. That's Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Gonna be playing a lot more single player games coming up for a while. So just chill chat.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
yeah, there we have it. All right. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Boom.
Yes.